So your partner and you were having lots of sex.
Hot sex.
Hot, frequent sex. And then you moved in together and poof! It evaporated. Not so frequent.
Not so
so
wonderful.
hot.
Yeah.
What do? I'm Reid Mahalko from ReidAboutSex.com.
He's a little bit high on chocolate-covered espresso beans, so I apologize. And I'm Cathy from theintimacydojo.com.
I'm so cranked out right now. Caffeine's awesome. Yes. What was the question?
So they were having great sex. They moved in.
Yeah, they moved in together. Yeah. Yep.
It can be a challenge.
Yeah.
It's the fear that a lot of people have. It's like, oh, you get married and you never have sex again.
So, a couple of questions to ask. Not even that. First advice. Go read Mating in Captivity. Mm-hmm. Esther Perel, brilliant woman, amazing book. Just go read that right off the bat.
She's an amazing accent, too. Reid has some
videos
with her.
She's, we love Esther.
Yeah.
Thanks, Esther. So, here's the other thing. Advice-wise. First off, just real quick questions. Like if I was coaching, this couple or this person, is this the first time you've ever lived with somebody or them, right? Because not that there's a huge difference, but there's definitely a distinction. You just got out of college or you're 21 and you just moved in with your first boyfriend ever or girlfriend or whatever ever. And then there's, I'm in my 30s, yada, yada, yada. I've had roommates before. If this is the first time, if you guys have never had roommates before,
that could be really
and
stressful.
You just moved in together, well, that explains everything.
Yeah.
Then there's I've had lots of roommates before. I've lived with lovers before, and now I just moved in with my new partner. And then there's I've been married and divorced 3 times, and I just moved in with my new paramour.
Yeah.
All those situations have little differences and nuances based on your own life experience and what you know about yourself.
Yeah.
So to try to look at what's going on through this one keyhole of frequency and hotness of sex, I think, one, just as a scientist, that's a horrible... Like, this is the beginning of a study. That is not the study. Yeah. You have a hypothesis. But what's going on is you had a lot of hot sex. Maybe it was for 2 years you were having hot sex, and then you moved in together. So now you're into, the 3rd year, and just maybe the dopamine and the eroticism's waning because of that.
Or you might have a whole bunch of new shared responsibilities where before you didn't care if you didn't take out the trash or if she didn't wash her dishes up at night, but now you're sharing a space and those things are coming up. And a lot of times people don't speak about them, especially if you've just moved in together. You're kind of like, oh, it'll be okay.
We'll see how it all shakes out.
Yeah, they'll figure it out. Or
they'll eventually get the toilet paper goes over.
But I'm, sitting down and actually talking about the things that are bothering you and figuring out a way to hopefully create a win-win. Like, I really hate when you don't wash the dishes at night before we go to bed. Oh, I never wash the dishes. I don't want to. They're there in the morning.
I have a roommate they do dinner and then they wash the dishes in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah. And it may be just a different style. There's no right or wrong. But okay, I hate that you don't wash the dishes, but if you stack them neatly in the sink and they're not all over the counter, I can handle it. We'll be good.
Yeah. Oh, the dishes are stacked. Oh, yeah.
And I have actually the most conventional dating advice, relationship advice, I don't think is very good. But I love the fact that someone was talking about, hey, if you want to get laid, take the trash out. For someone who's an active service person.
But then wash your hands. That's the part they don't tell you.
No, but if it's something your partner really cares about, taking care of that can be a sign hey, I really care and I'm thinking about you, which is something that can be pretty sexy. And then setting aside date time. Because when you live apart... Well,
when you're living apart, it automatically becomes date time.
Right. And you set aside time. It's not we can have sex whenever. It's sometimes when something is always available, you never do it.
Yeah. And this can be kind of the unintentional kiss of death of moving in together. Because you guys probably, in your heated frolicking, which was frequent and passionate, weren't having conversations about, what kind of roommate would you be like?
Yeah.
Like, what do you, toilet paper over or under kind of person?
Are your socks on the floor all the time?
Like, when I'm not around, what do you actually do?
Yeah.
And is that a good fit for me as a roommate? And then, the other thing is like, like the way that you just sit around in your sweatpants that you've been wearing all week, I notice, and play video games and stack your dishes, it drives me mad with passion. And so you end up moving in and you're like, it just kind of kills everything.
Yeah.
Nothing's wrong yet.
And you don't have to, not be it's not that you don't have to be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about pretending to be someone else so you can get laid. Because that's what conventional people teach, and that's not good.
Yeah. So, some advice, conventional advice, some of it's still useful, but relationships have changed so much.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's a great question. We love it, but there's also not enough detail in the questions. So we're making up reasons we think could be what's going on, and it might not actually apply to who wrote in.
So you're always welcome to add new comments and give us more details. We'll
Please,
try to get back
all
to
of you. And check out Esther Perel's Mating in Captivity, because it's a great book. And she also has a TED Talk on it.
Yeah.
If you want to Google that, if you're more into videos.
Yeah, it's about safety versus excitement.
Yeah. And you might be into videos because you're watching this one.
Yeah.
But are you into comments? Or subscribing?